people can hurt themselves so quickly. Like skiing and snowboarding is one of those kind of extreme sports that everybody wants to try because there's only so many sports you could do in the winter, you know? And so there's so many people who are skiing and snowboarding that you're just like, you shouldn't be doing an extreme sport. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like extreme sports are not popular.
Yeah,
except
but
for skiing and
snowboarding are, though.
Like
Yeah.
Gavin and I grew up, like, all of our friends played soccer or baseball or something, and we're like, we're going to hang out with the skater kids, and then we're going to get into BMX bike racing. And my dad's like, why don't you just play basketball? You know what I mean?
Play tennis.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, my little brother played tennis, and they're way more supportive of him.
Yeah.
We're just
We'll
like,
buy
we
you a
want to go,
racket.
we want to go play paintball. And they're like, oh, Jesus, there's no future in paintball.
Paintball isn't a sport. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Totally is the like, nah. Oh, if you want to play tennis.
Do you really think Taylor's going to be a pro tennis player? Like, come on. Like,
my first sport was actually hockey, except there's no fucking snow
in Australia
or skating. So we would play on concrete. Like gravel with rollerblades and we made our own fucking like out of wood. Like I literally got some wood and carved it into a fucking stick.
Wow.
And then we would use tennis balls, and the grazes were fucking... I was a goalkeeper too.
You just gotta play on a basketball court.
It was great. I fucking carved my elbows off, my fucking my knees off. Fucking it was good fun.
We used
street
to,
hockey,
Gavin and I, we played a bit of street hockey when we were really little, because when we were like 9, 10, the kids on our cul-de-sac, so America, just a cul-de-sac, you know what I mean? And all the kids in that cul-de-sac. Do you know what a cul-de-sac is?
Yeah. I lived on one. It was good.
I don't know if they have the same lingo in Australia.
It just reminded me of a fucking terrible thing we used to do. Do you mind if I take over for a second?
Well, just anyways, a couple of those kids were into hockey, and me and Gavin were like, we'd rather BMX bike race, but if you're into hockey, we'll do that with you every once in a while because you're the only kids on this cul-de-sac. So we played a little bit.
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Just sounds so good.
Sounds so just American.
So just
growing up on a
nuclear
cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
And then our friends would always make fun of us because we would have to leave the street hockey game because our dad would be like, Gavin, Garrett, pancakes. Pancakes.
What?
So we would always be playing, and like we'll be halfway through a game, and then our dad would be like, pancakes. And then we'd be like, oh, guys, we got to go. We're going to go eat some pancakes.
That's a legit reason.
And then all of our friends would just, like, it was every single time. We'd be at their house at nighttime watching a movie, and it's like, oh, we got to go. Like, oh, pancakes? You got to go because of pancakes on, like, a Saturday night. You know, I'm like, yeah, asshole. Pancakes on a Saturday night. They're like, oh, Garrett and Gavin got to eat their pancakes. And they'd just tear us a new one. And my dad was just completely oblivious. Every day, just like, pancakes, let's go.
It's because this is my dad's house. So we were only there on the weekends. So every, like, Saturday morning, my dad was like, his ritual would be like, wake up, make some pancakes and eggs.
French toast.
That's
it was
good
great.
habit.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
But
kids are ruthless, though.
Kids are mean. They are mean.
Fucking pancake pansy motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, game's finished. She's Garrett and Gavin
got a goalie now. Someone needs some pancakes.
This is the thing though. Like you guys were into all that extreme shit. Yeah. What was I gonna say? My mate lived on a cul-de-sac too, but the problem was it was a fucking massive hill. Now we would do fucked up shit. We'd get like 30 kids together and we'd like. I'll tell you a couple of different things we used to do. There was this one street with like just lemon trees, like a fuckload of lemon trees just lining the street. And we would just go there, grab lemons and peg them at each other. And the game would always keep going until we broke a window. And
Jesus.
And we played this multiple times. And, you know, then some grandpa would run out and be like, "Where the fucking kids like fuck yeah?" And then we'd be like, "Hee," and just fuck off in all directions. So it's like you could never get us. Like 30 kids throwing lemons for an hour. They're everywhere. It's just, and it hurts too. But like, who gives a fuck, right?
Lemon to the dome.
When you're like 10 years old or less,
a lemon could knock you out.
Oh, it's fucked up.
I don't know if knock you
out.
Dude,
well, they were
like
kind
a
of
proper kid, like a baseball player kid.
Maybe a grapefruit.
I've seen
I don't know about a lemon.
I've seen a
Lemon's
bunch
smaller, so you can throw harder.
I don't know.
But a
10-year-old
grapefruit's
kid,
got more
10-year-old kids can throw stuff pretty
A
hard.
lemon to the temple will knock you out.
I don't think anyone got knocked out by that.
don't know.
Like we did knock out this little kid Michael once. He was like this tiny Asian
But he
kid.
deserved it because he was small.
No, it was just okay. You guys know about Tongans, right? Like islanders. Okay. grew up in
Yeah, I know
Australia.
about Islanders from
Okay.
California.
No,
What are you
you've
talking
heard of-
about?
You know the dudes who were like, hamate.
Oh, yeah.
New
that
Zealand
shit, right?
guys?
Okay,
Like
well,
the natives.
there was this
right?
Tongan guy, right?
Okay.
Yeah, New Zealand native. They're just fucking huge. Okay, they're just fucking huge people.
Yeah.
Like when I say huge, you can't appreciate
Rugby players.
how big these guys
Yeah.
are, right? And so this kid is like double the height of everyone, and he's 8 years old. Like he's as tall as the teacher.
Uh-huh.
And he just, I think we were playing baseball for the first fucking time because we don't play baseball.
Really?
We play cricket.
Ah.
But he just smacked this
fuck?
fucking ball and it goes straight into Michael's forehead. And Michael is this tiny Asian kid. He's like,
He has to be Asian.
yeah,
too.
he's Asian. Like, okay.
Did you just make that up to make the story better? He's the little
no,
Asian
he's
kid.
Asian. He's Asian. And
Do you have a little cap on?
no,
Indie.
And a
and
lollipop.
he just got fucked.
Yeah, I
by
bet.
this ball just smacking me in the forehead, just straight out. That's the first time I saw someone knocked out.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that was that time. What the fuck did we used to do? Yeah, safety wasn't a concern
Never
when we
is.
were kids, right?
Never is.
I'm surprised I'm not
Like,
dead.
There
think
was
of the
the
shit we
there was
did.
the lemon shit. We used to go to the school at night and just take flashlights and climb on the rooftops
Of the school?
of the school
Yeah,
and they were high. They were
yeah.
like 3 stories high.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Sounds-
you fall, you die high.
Sounds like
Oh.
the kind of stuff Garrett and I used to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'd climb the trees, which were way too high, and then adults would, like the caretaker of the school would be like, yeah, you shouldn't be up there, you could hurt yourself. And we're like, well,
Come
we're not
get
coming
us."
down, like, come and get us. And then they're like, well, you know, I can wait around here, and they're not going to come down, so, well, fuck it. All right, I'll just fuck off now.
I told you
And
so.
and yeah, like, told you it's going to hurt, so did my job, and then they fuck off, and no one died.
Dude,
We gotta wrap this up, guys. So
Oh.
Where we at?
maybe
Where we
10 more minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay then.
Go ahead, tell
Last
the story.
fucking thing on skateboards before I had. Yeah, my mates. We had this one game where he had a cul-de-sac. That's why I was thinking of all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
He had a cul-de-sac, but it was on a hill and it was pretty steep.
Yeah.
But quite long. It was just a dead end road and it went to a main road. So there was just fucking cars just going. But it was a nice road with no cars on it until there.
Until the end of the road.
Until
with
the
just
end of the road.
lots of cars on it.
So we would just get on skateboards and then whip our dicks out and just
What?
see who could make the longest line of piss
Ah, okay.
before before we get to the main road. And then
turn.
and you can't stop with your dick out.
Right.
So we just bail and the skateboard would just fucking go.
Yeah, you could pee for a while.
Oh yeah.
How fast can you get going? Pretty like if it's
dangerously fucking fast. Like
dangerously quick.
dick
yeah.
out. Imagine road rash to the
Oh.
tip of the dick.
Yeah. What if you took
that
a
never
spill?
happened.
Oh, man, Jesus.
Because we
Like
just
full
rolled.
balls first.
We just rolled, but it was like, yeah, and then
Jesus.
you know we'd take turns like going down because you know sometimes we'd only have one skateboard, and then there'd be like spectators on top of his roof, just watching because his house was right on the corner at the end, and so they'd all just be watching as we'd go down, and they'd judge who'd like pissed the longest,
Who pissed the longest?
and who
streak?
had the best bail, and the board would just go and. Strangely enough, I don't remember any cars ever hitting the board.
the board? Yeah.
Like it just I know it went under cars like multiple times.
Wow.
But
I remember some asshole ran over my skateboard
motherfucker.
in slow motion. My skateboard was like, and then
And
I
Yeah.
saw
you're like, stop.
And he's
Stop.
just
And
like,
he's
"No,
like
fuck
looking
it."
at you like, why would
Yeah,
I
I felt like
stop?
I felt like he deliberately saw my skateboard, saw me say stop,
fucking kids.
stop, and he was like, "Fuck this kid, I'm gonna teach him a lesson." And then he ran over my skateboard twice, like his front wheel and his back wheel, and it just so happened to run perfectly over one of the trucks, and it didn't break. And I was like, oh my God, thank God it's not broken. What a dick. I was like, I totally told that guy to stop. We were in a parking lot.
It was really slow.
We're talking, this guy was going 5 miles an hour. And I gave him probably 2 seconds head notice, like, hey, skateboard's going under your car. And he did it anyway. And I was like, it was just one of those moments where you're like, that adult is just like, kids up to no good, skating, skateboards, they're up, ruining, vandals,
Dude, that happened to me the other day.
Yeah,
Like,
that happens in Korea.
Like
I told you, a police officer grabbed me, tried to pull me off of my skateboard. And I was like, what did I do? And he's like, that's not a car. I'm like, so I'm not allowed to ride across the crosswalk? I was going across the crosswalk. And he was like, that's not car. I was like,
yeah, it's going that way.
I'm like, what
not on the interstate?
Yeah,
dude.
I was like, what are we? I was so confused. I was like, why did you just try to grab me? Like, he tried to physically like manhandle me off the board, and he just barely missed me, and he like grazed my shirt, and then I stopped, and I was like, is there an issue? And he's like, that's not a car,
motherfucker.
And I was like, no shit, it's not a car. But if I was on a bicycle, you're going to rip me off my bicycle for being in the street? There's a bunch of people on the sidewalk.
No, the trick is don't stop. That's what Victor does. Have you seen him going down our fucking street?
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He goes down that main hill?
On HBC,
you know the hill on our street going all the way? He just fucking comes from the tunnel all the way down, and then he's like, woo! And he goes all the way. I see him all the time. I'm like walking up from work, like just coming home, and he just fucking flies. And he's dodging cars and shit.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, my girlfriend's like, baby, that's so dangerous.
And he doesn't have
That's so dangerous, baby.
Dude,
it is. She's completely
She's totally
one
right.
One of these days, Gavin, we have a list of like a bunch of stories that we eventually could say on this podcast. But I wrote down
a few more drinks.
I wrote down one, just like I can't remember the exact title. It's like the tales of having redneck neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the things we were talking about just being on a cul-de-sac as a kid and doing crazy shit that our parents like they're just not there, so they just don't know. One of the most dangerous and crazy things we ever did, and to this, I think back, I'm just like, holy shit, I can't believe we did that. And none of us for a second even second guessed to be like, this is stupid. Like,
or this is dangerous and someone could die.
We just found, so like in like our house is on a four-way intersection of like just like neighborhood streets, so nobody's going really any fast. But there's normal telephone lines, poles down the street, but our house was on like a central corner. So the telephone pole that's like in technically our yard, right on the corner next to the street, is a huge telephone pole. It's like, how tall do you think it was? Like 60 feet high?
It was, I don't know. I mean, I was like that tall, so I don't know. It was tall.
Anyway, it was way taller than like
you. It's fucking
compared to my house.
But there's like normal telephone poles, and then there's this one, which is like a central hub telephone pole, which is way taller.
Don't fucking climb that shit.
Well,
so what did you do? Yeah.
So it's like if you look at these things, it's like super high up there, and there's no pegs to climb this thing unless you're like already 15 feet high, because they don't want kids climbing that shit.
Yeah, and they put them up.
So it's like you have to have like a couple straps. You get up, and then once you get like 15 feet high, there's pegs for whoever needs to operate on the telephone poles. But we have like redneck white trash neighbors who, when they first moved in, literally had mullets. They like actually had mullets.
The good old days.
In like 98, you know what I mean? Nobody had
now
a fucking mullet.
A mullet's kind of hipster, but back then it was not.
It was just like, whoa, mullets was like the 80s, and now if you have a mullet in the late 90s, you are white trash. And these guys were. Anyways, but they're our neighbors, and we liked them because they're white trash, we could go to their house and escape Christian living and do whatever the fuck we wanted with these kids. They had BB guns. They had fucking porno mags.
I had the same friends.
in the garage, they found their dad's Playboys. But, these kids, we found a bunch of rope one day. And we're just like, well, let's fucking do something with this rope.
What are we going to do with this rope?
We tied a big loop on one end of the rope so that you could fit like 2 or 3 kids inside the loop. And then we threw the rope over the telephone pole. And so it took us like like 10 tries to be able to throw this rope high enough because it's so fucking high up there.
And we're like little kids. We
And we're
can't
little
throw
kids. We
it
can't
high
even
enough.
throw it high enough. And we're athletic little kids, so we're throwing this as hard as we fucking can. Eventually, we get this rope over the lowest. Like it's like there's the pole, and then there's the cross sections where the telephone lines are actually going across. We get it over the lowest one, and so then we tie a little tiny fucking loop where you could put 1 foot in. And then we have a big loop on the other side.
So
and then
just hoisting
so we started like hoisting each other up this telephone pole, and underneath this telephone pole is just cement.
It's just
like,
the street.
It's just a straight street. Like there's nothing but asphalt underneath you. And we're hoisting each other up like I would say 40, 50 feet over asphalt.
I don't know if it was that high, but it was high.
It was fucking
was
high,
high.
man. It was really high.
The thing, I just remember...
And this guy, we got him all the way up, and he's climbing up in the telephone poles. And
I knew I was like, don't touch the wires, though. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
I was like...
Yeah, you don't want to be a fucking idiot.
But
yeah.
I remember...
we got like a bunch of kids, like, we got like 3 kids all in one loop. And this rope wasn't even that thick.
Yeah, it was like a piece of...
thin rope. Like,
Yeah.
it really wasn't that thick. And you got like 3 kids, like, all in a loop, just like...
And it's like, you know, every once in a while they lose their footing and they slide a little bit and you go down. You're like, don't drop me. It's like, you know, I just remember being up there and just being like, wow, I'm really high up. And I just remember seeing them and they're just like, I'm like, wow, they're struggling to keep me,
and this rope
keep
is
me up
like,
there.
this rope is sliding over like just, you know, a 4x4 piece of
it's
wood.
like, what if it just slid
It's
off?
just like it's not like this is a hard corner of wood. It could easily fucking like rub raw, and we are putting some real weight on this, dude. And we're sliding it up and down. And we get 1 kid up and go down, next kid up and down, next kid up.
And
down.
each time we want to go higher and higher,
Yeah.
you know?
Dude, I'm like I think back and I'm just like,
So-
we were so fucking stupid.
so
Like
dumb.
that rope could have easily fucking snapped, and a kid is gonna die in our front yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
me being one of them.
that was one of the craziest things I look back at, and I'm just like, fucking redneck neighbors.
I remember we made a fort on eucalyptus leaves. We got to end on this, but I remember we made a fort on eucalyptus leaves. Fort.
Use your T's.
A fort.
A 4.
Yeah,
Use
I'm like,
a 4.
a 4. I'm
What's
like,
a
what?
4?
A fort. We made a fort in the middle of a eucalyptus tree grove. Eucalyptus trees are like desert trees.
You have
giant
eucalyptus
shrubs.
trees?
We lived in the desert. Yeah,
I thought that was like an Australian thing.
It's probably a desert thing. But anyway, so there was a bunch of these, and we made a
No, it
fort.
was oleander.
Oleanders, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
have oleanders?
Oleanders.
No, we have eucalyptus trees.
We
which
have those
I
too.
thought
Yeah,
those were
it's not
native to
eucalyptus.
Australia.
We had oleander.
We have eucalyptus trees too, but
Maybe
this-
they were
fucking
brought.
stolen,
Maybe they were brought.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, maybe.
we're talking about, I meant to say oleanders, yeah. Anyway, so it's oleander trees, and we're in the middle of it. There's probably scorpions and black widows and fucking rattlesnakes, but we're just like, who cares?
Yeah.
We made a fort, you know what I mean?
Come on.
So we're in the middle of this thing, and we decked it out. I remember someone had like a little
We
saw.
found a saw.
Yeah, we
so
found
we
a
were
saw.
like literally sawing branches and shit.
So like it's kind of hard to get in, but then once you got in, it like opened up, and we had a little hangout. Probably pulled out a porno mag, you know, and it was good times. And I remember we found this like those hook on a rubber band to kind of tie things down on the back of your pickup truck. What are those called? Just straps, just like those hook straps.
Yeah.
Anyway, we found an old one that was like frayed and been in the sun all day. So as you know, if you put a rubber band in the sun all day, it like breaks, you know?
It doesn't fucking, yeah.
It doesn't work. Anyway, so this kid, I remember he was hanging from one of those things, and he had on his belt loop, and he was only like 5 feet up. But I remember it snapped, and he fell straight ass first on it was Zach's little brother. I forgot his name.
Zane.
Zane's little brother. I forgot his
No,
name.
Zach's little brother was named Zane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway.
White trash.
Hey, come on.
Zach and Zane.
Everyone in your family starts with
Zach and
G.
Zane. Yeah, it's true. But Zach and Zane, it's kind of weird, wacky. Anyway, but this, like, we had cut a tree down, so there was this kind of sharp, fresh little, stump. And I remember he fell on it ass first. And I remember he was like, my ass is bleeding. He ran home crying. And I thought, all right, yeah, it looks like an old rubber band, you know. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not too surprised that broke. But yeah, like that rope never broke though. But I remember he just landed on it with his ass. And I remember he's like, is my ass bleeding? I was like, yeah, it is. He's like, he ran up crying.
It's like, that would fucking hurt.
He probably only fell maybe like that far.
But still,
I mean, can you imagine falling that far, just straight onto like a sharp stump like that?
Ow!
Just yeah, he was crying. Yeah. How funny is that? Little kids, they crash on their bike, they just leave their bike and they just run home crying.
I broke my arm and I brought my bike home.
Really?
When I was a kid.
You're a strong kid.
Yeah. But here's the thing that was fucked up about that. I was more afraid of what my mom was gonna say because I was supposed to be home.
And not messing around on your
and not
bike.
messing around. Like she's like, if you want to, never go to the park alone. Yeah. So what did I fucking do? Just the week after she told me that new rule, I'm like, yeah, I go to the fucking park and I'm playing on the flying fox and I break my arm. And I went alone. And then I had to go just fucking holding my arm, trying not to cry with my bike. And I stumble home and then I fucking just lay on the fucking couch. And she worked, she's a single mom, works late, came home a few hours later, and I'm just on the
few hours.
Yeah, so I'm
Jesus
at home
Christ.
with a broken fucking arm.
Damn,
just sitting there, and I didn't cry until she arrived. I'm like, I broke my arm.
Dude, Mom told me about Uncle Tracy one time. Our uncle's is funny, dude. She said he broke his leg and just didn't want to tell Grandpa Duke about it forever.
No, it's like...
And so he was just limping around for the longest time. Is your leg all right? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. And then he said that they finally went to the hospital months later and be like, dude, you've had a broken leg for months.
Did they have to re-break that shit?
I can't remember you have to ask my mom the story, but
man.
Shit.
Our grandpa... Try this one, but we gotta wrap it up. But yeah, really our grandpa, he's a hard old man. I could totally see why Uncle Tracy's like, I don't want to tell Grandpa I broke my leg, you know. I mean, our grandpa's name is Duke, and he's 6'3", he's a big dude.
Duke is the more approachable name. His actual name is Newell.
Newell.
Yeah,
but anyway, our grandpa.
What kind of name is Newell?
Grandpa's name.
But yeah, our grandpa, I mean, he has a junkyard in his backyard. He's missing his pinky on this hand, and he's missing
frostbite.
No, he busted. He ripped it off doing junkyard shit.
No, it was one of his. Yeah, he's missing half of his ring finger on one hand. And
his middle finger.
Half his middle finger on one hand. I'm pretty sure it's his ring finger.
It's
middle finger.
Don't need that
for sure. Middle finger.
All right, I'll bet you $5. It's his ring finger.
Easiest $5 ever.
Okay.
Made.
Anyways, but he's missing half of one of his middle or ring finger on one hand, and then he's missing his pinky on the other hand. But he's got
I'm sensing that you're unsure now.
I
just
think
a little bit of apprehension.
Anyways,
there.
but he's got these. I am 30 years old, and when I shake his hand, I still feel like a little kid because he's got the thickest man sausage fingers ever, and he could just grab your hand and be like, and I'm just like, I'm such a little bitch.
Yeah. Every time we see him, he's like, you need to eat more. But yeah, he only has
he's got Ninja Turtle hands. He's got Ninja Turtle hands. Only has 3 fingers.
Simpsons. And he just will grab you by the back. You know, you're like, I could die. Right? If he just wanted to kill me, he could just fucking kill me. You know what I mean? When you're a little kid.
Yeah, of course.
I remember he would hug me and he fucking just crushed my ribs. I was like, oh God! I started crying. I was like, I don't like Grandpa anymore. Fucking trying to break my ribs. And then I remember he was just like, "Why are you screaming like a bitch?" He didn't say that, but I remember he was all pissed off that I was like, "Man, I remember he was mad at me that I was such a sissy." I'm like, he hugged me sideways, so my ribs they flexed the wrong way. You know, they flex more evenly if you hug me like a normal person. Yeah. He hugged me sideways, so my ribs. The sides flex like that.
Yeah, so it pushes out. Yeah.
Extreme pain. And I was ran to my mom crying. And I was like, I don't like Grandpa. I don't want him to hug me anymore. And I remember he was mad at me.
Little bitch.
Yeah, he was like, oh, God, he's such a sissy. You know, Grandpa Duke. he's a hard dude. But anyway, we got to wrap it up.